One of the worst feelings of Marvel Rivals is grinding your heart out, but seeing zero improvement, maybe even D-ranking. If you're an aspiring Marvel Rivals player, looking to climb ranks, sharpen your aim, or maybe even master a specific hero or role, this video is for you. I'm Prophet, and today I'm diving into why your progress stalls and how to skyrocket your skills at a blistering pace, whether you're stuck in bronze or pushing for top 500. I'll also weave in some life advice to keep your mental strong, because a clear head wins games and life. Let's get started with a story that changed how I approach ranking up. I used to play Fortnite competitively. I put hundreds of hours into aim training, hit Unreal rank, which is the highest rank, yada yada. The first time I hit a new rank in Fortnite, I queued into a match and I got wrecked. I'm talking, did I forget how to play? Levels of embarrassment. Why? I kinda psyched myself out. I thought, there are levels to this. I had what I needed for a good game, but I was simply missing shots and overthinking everything. After the match, I checked the ranks of people playing around me. Everyone was in bronze or silver, the same rank as me. The game before that, I'd clutched against higher ranks and felt like a champ. So what changed? My mindset. I convinced myself I didn't belong, and it tanked my performance. If you want to climb fast in Marvel Rivals, you need to believe your dream rank is where you belong. Picture yourself as a top 500 player. Even if it feels delusional, that confidence keeps your playstyle consistent, letting you learn from mistakes without second guessing every move. If you start playing scared just because you ranked up, you're sabotaging your growth. Stick to your natural style, get punished, and learn. It's replicable, so do this consistently and you'll see results. Next up, let's talk about something that'll make you improve faster than Iron Man stealing your bay. Is that what the kids say? Do you guys still say that? I don't think I've heard that said in a while. While the term bae was popular as a slang term of endearment a few years ago, it's less common among younger people today. So I'm a boomer. Okay, moving on. Let's call this a death protocol. Every time you get smoked in Marvel Rivals, ask yourself these questions. Why did I die? Why did I die? Why did I die? You don't always do this. You alt-tab when you die for the next 8 seconds because you have TikTok brain and you sit there scratching yourself instead of doing mental push-ups by figuring out how you ended up in Spawn to begin with. Was it because you whiffed Spider-Man's web shots? You should say, I need to hit the practice range. Did you overextend as Black Panther? Tell yourself, okay, next time, I'm playing patient. This sounds simple, and we've covered it before, but it's a game changer, and you don't do it enough. You are thinking about all the ways you do it right now, but you don't. You don't really dissect why you died. If there was $1 million sitting in a briefcase with a code, and all you had to do to unlock it was enter that code, wouldn't you want that code? What if I told you I could give you that code, but you had to give me written examples from every match you played for the day on every death of yours? And you would need to include examples of who you were playing as, who you were playing against, what did you do leading up to your death, and what were your crystal clear takeaways of that death to work on moving forward. Now you need to do that for every death and every match. Are you stuck in Diamond? Review your gameplay. I know you're sick of me saying this by now, but you're not doing it. And even if you are, you're barely doing it. You're like my toddler when he's eating and I ask him if he ate his food and he looks at me and says, all done. And he just mashed all his food and pushed it to the side. Dude, your plate is still full. Do you think I was born yesterday? No, I was born the day before yesterday. If you're loving these tips and want to keep the Marvel Rivals wisdom flowing, consider subscribing. And if you want to kick it up a notch, consider becoming a channel member. It's like buying me a coffee. Except I don't drink coffee. That was a bad example. Seriously, your support keeps me making these videos and I appreciate you. Back to the video. Picture 2 players. Player A religiously runs their death protocol, catching 15 mistakes per match. Player B only reflects a third of the time, blaming lag or that OP Magneto. Guess who's climbing ranks faster? Player A, every time. If you want that euphoric rush of leveling up your game, make this a habit. It's like brushing your teeth. Do it consistently and you won't end up with a rotten rank. Now, let's address a trap I see a ton of lower ranked players fall into, expecting someone else to carry. You're in silver, someone locks Star-Lord, and you're like, cool, they might top frag. They'll finish my kills. And then they go 2 and 10, and you're raging in the chat. Here's the harsh truth on that. That's holding you back. Instead of flaming your team, expect yourself to pop off. No, you don't have to top frag every game, that's not the point. But if you want to hit high ranks, you need to be ready to carry when your team's flopping like a salmon. I once had a match where our Thor was basically AFK and I was on Doctor Strange. Instead of tilting, I hyped up my team's small wins, like our Mantis landing asleep on their big fat tanks. Like, who would miss that? But I hyped them up regardless. It's funny and a bit sad, right? But we pulled off a comeback. Positive vibes make your team play better and you'll climb faster. Plus, when you do top frag, don't spam the stat screen like you just won a championship. Stay humble, play good game, and queue up, go next. That's how you keep your skill sharp and ego in check. Here's a hot take. Playing against Smurfs is the best practice you'll ever get. Large pockets of this community are fuming about high-level Black Panthers dismantling their teams and chasing their strategists across the map, but this is something I realized early on in my Marvel Rivals grind. Smurfs punish your mistakes harder than anyone else can in your rank. They'll exploit your bad positioning, they'll out-aim you, and they'll force you to adapt or you're gonna lose. One match, I got styled on by a smurfing Loki, but I focused. I locked in, and I started predicting them disappearing, him using his runes, and teleporting. I still lost, but I learned more in that 10-minute beatdown than in hours of fair matches, whatever those are in this game. Next time you face a Smurf, don't tilt. Treat it like a free coaching session and go all out, because it is. If you're in silver complaining about Smurfs, you should be rejoicing. You have a first-person view of what it's like to play in GM lobbies, or whatever rank that Smurf is in. On the flip side, if your improvement's stalling, it might be your routine. If you're spamming ranked for hours, doing the same thing, and expecting different results, it's a fool's errand. Think about it. If I told you to bounce a ball in a room with only flat surfaces, and to drop the ball from the same height, the same way, every time, would you seriously expect the ball to do anything different on drop number 50? Or if your computer isn't turning on, do you keep unplugging it and replugging it back in to turn it on? When would you stop doing that? Again, if you unplug it and plug it back in 50 times, would you realistically expect attempt number 51 to be different? This doesn't mean you don't put in work, it means don't put in lousy work. You need to think. I hit plateaus in this game all the time, until I switch things up. Instead of grinding 50 ranked matches a day, I generally only play a handful of matches, and then I spend time reviewing my deaths and working on any mechanics I need to get better at. For example, I'd review me whiffing a Magneto ultimate on a cloak and dagger in game. I booted up the practice range and practiced flick shots with Magneto's ultimate, keeping an eye on getting a feel for how his ult charges when there's no or minimal damage coming in. Can you ult under a bridge? Is it better to lead a moving target when aiming the ult, or should you fix your target priority? Spoiler, depends on the situation. In one afternoon, my game sense in this context was night and day better. If you're only playing ranked, try this. Play one focused ranked match, and then spend an hour in the practice range or quick play, grinding specific skills. You'll get significantly more reps. Think 200 aim duels in an hour versus 20 in a ranked match. It's like upgrading from a bicycle to a, I don't know, what's fast in the multiverse? There's a time and a place to just play the game and get those reps in, but do not underestimate the importance of deliberate practice where you are trying to improve with every rep. You will go into autopilot mode when you're just playing ranked all day. If you want to improve quicker, incorporate these other steps. Let's talk about bottom fragging. We've all been there. You're 1 in 5 as Winter Soldier, and you feel like uninstalling. The worst thing you can do, switch up your playstyle without understanding why you would want to be switching it up in the first place. If you normally play with your team, keep doing it, even if you're getting stomped. Why? Because trusting your instincts, even when you're struggling, sharpens your game sense over time. If you play scared, you're not learning anything except how to hide or play passive. And don't confuse this with doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You still play with your team in this scenario, but instead of spamming your primary at the Groot who's getting endless heals, consider shooting the enemy Storm. Same, but different. I had a match where I was doing terrible as Psylocke, and my gut told me to push a flank. My team was yelling, typing in the chat, and saying not so nice things to me. And I knew their Human Torch was getting pocket heals the entire game, which made this particular move risky, but I flanked anyway. I got a double kill, including their torch, and it turned the entire round. Even if I died, I'd have learned something. The pressure I put on their team in that moment forced them to play more reserve for the entire 3/4 of the match. Be humble, own your mistakes, and keep swinging. Here's another gem. Always blame yourself. It sounds brutal, but hear me out. If your team throws a 4v1, don't rage about their whiffs. Ask, why wasn't I alive there to clutch? Every loss, whether you're top or bottom frag, is a chance to grow. You may get angry when your teammates lose unlosable rounds, but once you start focusing on your own plays, your improvement will explode. Why? Because you can't control your teammates, but you can control you. This mindset is rare in Marvel Rivals lobbies, and it'll set you apart. Next, hunt down your weaknesses like Namor hunting Atlantean traders. Early on, I was trash at timing Mantis's healing. I tossed him at the worst moments, it felt like, leaving my team high and dry. So I practiced with the sole intent to get better at knowing when to heal as Mantis. And I watched top Mantis players. Within a couple of days, my heals were clutch city, yo. Find your weak spot. Maybe it's aim, positioning, or ability usage. Then isolate it and grind. Everyone from bronze to pros has something to fix. Also, keep it simple. I see players try to main 10 heroes and learn all the combos for all of them. Spoiler, it usually backfires. Complex plays build bad habits and aren't replicable, and you could have an encyclopedic knowledge of all 40 plus heroes in the game. But what does it matter if you don't have the muscle memory or understand the nuance of how to practically approach countering a Hulk who is B-hopping away and you're on Scarlet Witch? What's your game plan for that specifically? Instead, focus on easy, consistent moves, like holding a clean angle or timing your ult for max impact. These are massive. Simple plays win games and make you a reliable teammate. Speaking of teams, master clear comms instead of vague calls like, maybe push here. Say, push, push, push. Clear and actionable calls turn chaotic lobbies into coordinated squads, and you'll win more games. Know thyself. Clutches are your ticket to high ranks. If you're in a 2v5 and think, this is over, you've already lost. Believe every clutch is winnable, even if it's delusional. I once clutched a 1v4s group because I stayed calm, I trusted my gut, and I used audio cues to track enemies and wall off the lone strategist while I finished the low HP stragglers. Relax, gather info, and make a plan. Don't just YOLO it, be pragmatic. Ignore backseat gamers. Your instincts are your best coach, usually. Finally, your environment matters. Playing with toxic teammates who scream uninstall when you miss a shot? That's a progress killer. Find a squad that hypes you up, even when you whiff. I mostly solo queue, so I get it here, but I'll occasionally hop on my alt account to duo with a buddy who's just fun to be around. I know I can play who I want, how I want, my dude has my back, at least sometimes. That confidence lets me take smart risks and improve faster. Toxic lobbies drag you down, and positive ones launch you up. This is the blueprint to climb ranks, sharpen skills, and keep your mental strong in Marvel Rivals. If you found this valuable, consider subscribing, and if you want to support the channel, link is in the description for that or for some coaching as well. And check out this video on how to be consistent. Until next time.